couple months ago, I was telling someone how much I love Gerard Butler and macho leading man roles, and then we get this movie. So let's talk about it. Of Thieves is a heist thriller starring Gerard Butler as the head of an elite unit of the LA County Sheriff's Department. They're tracking down a crew of highly intelligent and highly successful thieves who are planning on robbing the city's Federal Reserve Bank. Throughout the film, we get to see the life of Gerard Butler as well as most of the heist crew. Overall, this is a movie that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I actually found myself liking it more as the movie went along. But before I dive into my full review, go ahead and tell me down below, have you seen it and what did you think about it? Tell me down in the comment section. With that said, let's start talking about the good. For me, the best thing about this movie is that it weaves a sense of tension and conflict into each and every scene of the movie. I went into it expecting kind of a heist thriller with a bunch of action, a bunch of machoism and stuff. And it has the machoism, it has the action, but it's not really that type of movie. It's much more about the interactions, the relationships, the mind games between the characters. And so each situation with these macho guys, just there's so much tension as they screw with each other, as they show up at different places to mess with their head, as they have personal struggles with the people around them. And each scene, it builds conflict and tension into it. And so you just feel on the edge of your seat throughout it as you don't know what's going to happen. Also, as the movie unfolds, there's a lot more wit and cleverness to the script than I was expecting. I was thinking it was going to be a lot more straightforward, but as you kind of go through it, you realize there's a lot more tricks and turns in the filmmaking and storytelling than you're expecting at first. The other thing I loved about this movie is that it is a very manly, macho film. All these guys have the macho sliders cranked up to 11. Some people might find the characters unlikable for that reason, but each of these actors just kind of oozes dude charisma. And so if that's your thing, which it is definitely my thing, I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is the type of movie where Gerard Butler shines, but all of these guys, it's the sort of movie you can put 50 Cent into and it makes sense. He can pull his weight in these types of roles because that's kind of the sort of person that he is. Likewise, O'Shea Jackson plays his character very nicely as a guy kind of pulled between sides in this. And the lead guy on the heist side of things, Pablo Schreiber, I thoroughly enjoyed him in this movie. Just kind of has this glare that he gives people and you can see his mind working as he's kind of figuring things out. Thoroughly enjoyed him in this movie. And finally, this is a heist action thriller and it does absolutely deliver on the heist side of things. As you're going through the movie, like I knew it was a long movie and it got to the point in time where I thought things were unfolding. I was like, okay, I guess we're getting going. And then the movie goes on to the heist sequence and it felt like it was half the movie, and that in the best way possible. I mean, there's all these different layers to the heist of their plan and how things are going to try to get away with things. There's shootouts in it. There's all sorts of things that you want to happen in a heist movie. You get them in this, and like the master plan, the deceptions, the twists, the turns, all the elements I wanted, I got in the heist in this movie, which I thoroughly enjoyed. From there, let's move on to the mixed side of this movie. And like I just said, the movie's very long. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. And I say it's more on the mixed side of things because I thoroughly enjoyed all 2 hours and 20 minutes of the movie. But you could see where it gets a little bit long in the first half of the movie and how the heist could be stretched out longer than it needed to be for some people. And there's a lot of little scenes in here where we get to see the lives of the members of the heist crew and of Gerard Butler's character. But I could see where some people would say it's too long, too stretched out, and you could feel that a little bit in there. Likewise, on the mixed side, I alluded to this a little bit before, but because the macho is so cranked up, there's so much aggression in some of these situations, they're just so in your face. All of the characters are kind of like that. You can see where it would be a very off-putting movie for a lot of people. If that's not their kind of thing, if they don't like that sort of thing, they wouldn't care for this movie. From there, let's move on to the bad. The big negative on this movie is they definitely had to cheat some plot points in order to make this big, gigantic heist plan work. There's definitely some coincidence in their plan. There's elements where you think through it and you go, wait, why did they do this? How does this tie together? There's elements elements of their plan that are just so elaborate that it feels cool in the movie because you want to see this type of scenario in a heist movie, but you just kind of sit back afterwards and you go, why did this element in the movie need to take place? Doesn't this seem like several extra steps that were added just for the sake of making the heist in the movie bigger and grander? But I don't know that it actually makes any sense in the scheme of the movie itself. And that's the big area where the movie kind of struggled. There's those elements like that as you're watching it. And maybe on a second viewing, I could figure out better why they needed to take certain steps in there and how this would work and why this would happen. But watching through it, I was just thinking, no, I don't think that would work out. Wait, why would this happen? I don't quite understand why this element fit together. And so that was a little bit frustrating as I was watching it. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It had a bunch of twists and turns I was not expecting. I'm going to give this movie a B+ and say that I would give it an 8.0 on the entertainment meter. If you like heist movies, if you like macho movies, this is a movie to go and see in the theater. But that's just my take on it. A movie I thoroughly enjoyed as a guy that likes macho movies, that likes heist movies, loves Gerard Butler movies. This is a movie that I thoroughly enjoyed, but this is also my type of movie. How about you? What did you think about it? Tell me down below in the comments section. Is this your type of movie? Do you like heist movies? What are some of your favorite heist movies? Tell me down below in the comment section. Let's have a nice lively discussion. And if you're new to my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. I do movie reviews, TV reviews, ranking videos, but the key thing is I don't want to just talk about movies. I want to talk about movies with you. So join me in the comment section. Let's have a lively discussion. And as always, thank you so much for watching.